Hello and welcome back to another installment of Poke Fodder, and we have a new update. Version 5.0.8 has been released. We have several new figures to get into, so let's just jump right into this. The first thing that we have is, we'll do plates. There are new plates adding on to the sphere plate that we got last update, which was just a couple weeks ago. And I will make mention, if you look at the time frame of when the February Booster A is available, it says all the way through the end of the month. I'm not sure if that means we are only getting one booster again this month, which kind of makes sense to me, or if they will add a February Booster B that goes along with A, but A will still be available. For now, February Booster A is available and January Booster A is available as well. So you have two different options there. Just want to point that out. I'll probably point it out again when we get into the new figures. But speaking of sphere plates, we have Mighty Sphere. Choose one of your fighting type Pokemon until the end of the duel. While that Pokemon is on the field, opposing Pokemon surrounded by your fighting type Pokemon move to your PC. That's pretty nice. You take them off the board, they go to your PC, so even if you cycle through their Mons, they're still effectively down a Mon. The Mon is essentially banished or iced or sleeping, they just can't wake it up. So that's nice. I'm okay with that. You know, it's a nice ability, nice added feature to everything that's going on there. And then we have Winged Sphere. Both these are one plate slots. And you can't buy these in the material store. You have to actually get these out of pulled boosters. It's another way that they're sort of forcing you to buy booster packs. The Winged Sphere, choose one of your bug type Pokemon or flying type Pokemon. Until the end of the duel, while that Pokemon is on the field, your stage 1 or higher bug or flying type Pokemon may MP move over opposing non-flying type Pokemon on the field. Your turn ends. That is kind of like Melee Wish, where you're gonna get the ability to hop over everything, and I feel like a lot of figures now have the ability to pass over or move over. I would be interested, I'm not going to do it right now, but I'd be interested to get a count on how many Pokemon there are that move over figures. So if we're talking about ghost types, I don't know how many are in the game currently, but ghost types minus Trev I'm pretty sure they can all move over or pass through or whatever. And then you have Tapu Koko, you have Virizion, you have the 3 legendary birds. They all can move over. And now we're adding all bug and flying type with this. Means, you know, like your Gyarados, I believe, can now move over. Your Noivern can now move over figures. Pretty interesting. Definitely gonna want to try this one out to see how effective it is. Most figures, I'm trying to think, aren't 3 MP. Ninjask, I believe, is bug flying, so that one would probably be 3 MP with the ability to move over. And if you think, if it comes evolved, Ninjask can 4 MP off the bench, which could be really nice to go 4 MP off the bench and be able to move over figures. Nobody's running Ninjask, but maybe that'll entice a few people to do it. So those are a couple of the new plates, and we do have more new plates to get into. The next new plate that we have is Mega Gallade. This plate can be used when one of your Pokemon are not already Mega Evolved. You choose one of your Gallades on the field, and then they become a Mega Gallade. Very basic. We kind of have a good understanding of how the Megas work in this game. So that's going to be the other new plate that is available, and that one is available for purchase in the shop. And if you'll notice, they do make that distinction. New plate available in the shop versus new plates coming to recommended booster and booster 10 packs. Just know that if you do want one of the sphere plates, you are going to have to buy boosters. If you want the mega plates, you can actually purchase those, and I believe they are 72 gems each. Now let's get into what new figures we have. Obviously, if we have a Mega Gallade plate, we have a Mega Gallade. That's new. Obviously, in order to have a Mega Gallade, we have to have a Gallade. So that one is new. But we also have our 2 new Fighting Bug Type EX, or UX. Buzzwole is the first one, and Pheromosa, I believe that's Pheromosa, is what we have here. You can get those out of the recommended February booster A's, which are now appearing for a limited time, but like I mentioned before, the limited time is going to go through the end of the month. The February 2018 booster 10-pack A, which is guaranteed to contain at least 1 EX or higher figures available. A total of 27 figures of UX and EX rarity are available, including the 3 new ones that we already talked about. And don't miss this chance to power up your deck. The booster 10 packs, we kind of know. You get 10 items for 500 gems, and one of them is a EX or UX guaranteed. After that, it's you get what you get, and you can complain actually because you're using gems to purchase those. And maintenance was complete. So kind of a small update, but it's not a bad update. So let's go look at these new figures, because we actually have a second new EX available that they don't even mention in here. And if we just go look at our box contents, that's going to show everything that is available. But we want to know about new figures. So we're going to start with Buzzwole. Buzzwole is another UX Ultra Beast with the ability of Ultra Pump Up until it engages in its first battle after moving onto the field. Okay, so you move onto the field. So up until the point that you have a battle, you're going to be able to have this ability. Once you battle, you no longer have this ability. And at the start of your turn, this Pokemon may move to a point by moving over an adjacent Pokemon instead of using an MP move. Your turn ends. This Pokemon deals plus 29 attack damage for each Pokemon in Ultra Space. Again, another Pokemon that can pass over. This ability seems very similar to Giratina, where Giratina is only 1 MP, but can move over an opponent. This one's 2 MP, but has that same ability. Looking at the wheel, we have 2 4-miss wheel sections for 8 miss. When you take this to level 5, it will go down to just 4 miss. A 24 wheel slice of Ice Punch that hits for 53. If the Pokemon's knocked out, the battled opponent becomes frozen. We've seen that before. Could work good with a Suicune deck, maybe. You know, because Suicune will banish frozen Pokemon. Something that you may want to try out if you want to run Ultra Beasts. A 4 wheel slice of Dodge. And what that does is if this Pokemon gets statused, that is going to, and statused as far as either burned or paralyzed, what it's going to do is it's going to make it so that your Pokemon is not just completely crippled with a huge miss section. So that's nice. A lot of the Tapus, I believe all the Tapu line have the same 4 dodge just plugged in there to absorb the status effects. You have a 38 wheel slice of Superpower, which is 113. Remember, the Ultra Beast deal with prime numbers, and that's why their attacks are such random numbers. But I actually like the randomness of the numbers. It makes chain levels matter. And then you're going to have Chest Repulse. Attaches a cracked marker to the battle opponent if the battle opponent spends an attack of 130 or more damage. This seems like it would synergize really well with Scissor and Mega Scissor, because Mega Scissor has the ability to banish Pokemon with an attached cracked marker. So you want to keep that in mind. You know, not overpowered, and it says nothing about going to Ultra Space. When this Pokemon gets knocked out, it just goes to the PC. I thought we were going to have Ultra Beasts go to Ultra Space when they get knocked out. Also, if you will notice, this Pokemon does not have the ability to call back a beast, an Ultra Beast from Ultra Space. So if one of your Pokemon gets sent off to, one of your Nihiligos gets sent off to Ultra Space, then Buzzwole is not going to be able to bring it back, which kind of means that Buzzwole and Nihiligo don't necessarily synergize all that well, with the exception of you can get the plus 29 attack, and that's going to make, gosh, my quick math would make it 142 on superpower with no chain levels, if my math is correct there. I believe that is. If we move on to Pheromosa, we are going to have the bug fighting type with the ability of Ultra Sprint. In this Pokemon's first battle after moving to the field, any effects of a battle opponent's ability that increase or decrease damage are nullified. This Pokemon gets plus 1 MP for each Pokemon in the Ultra Space to a maximum of 4 MP. It's going to start off as a base 2 MP figure. If we look at the wheel, kind of the same makeup, but just the inverse. If you look at the wheels of Buzzwole and Pheromosa, they're just inverse of each other. You see what I'm talking about, where the dodge is leaning to the left on one and to the right on the other. Base 8 miss at level 5, that is going to be a 4 miss total. A 36 wheel slice that hits for 103. Attach a MP -1 marker to the battle opponent. Those can be removed if your opponent tags its Pokemon. It will get its MP back. A 4 dodge, again, we talked about that. A 24 wheel slice of Ice Beam. If this Pokemon is knocked out, the battle opponent becomes frozen, which hits for 67. And then this one does have the call signal. Move one of your Pokemon that is in Ultra Space to a point 2 steps away from this Pokemon. So there you go with those 2 new Ultra Beasts. Gonna need to do some work and some beta testing to see exactly what these synergize well with, as far as getting the most potential out of them. Again, Pheromosa doesn't go to Ultra Space. It doesn't say that it does. So that's kind of interesting that Nihiligo goes to Ultra Space, yet the 2 new Ultra Beasts do not go to Ultra Space. But if you do run 2 Nihiligos like I have, and you have Pheromosa, both your Nihiligos get knocked out to Ultra Space. If you have that winged sphere, you could go 4 MP and soar and move over other figures that are not flying type, which could win you a game late if your opponent's pressing down hard on you. We have Mega Gallade. If we look at the details, this Pokemon can attack it's a psychic fighting with 2 Sword Strike is the ability. This Pokemon can attack Pokemon that are 2 steps away. that just makes me laugh. Like, you don't even have to be next to them. You can be 2 spaces away. While it does, this Pokemon's attacks have range 2. Your Psychic type Pokemon and your Fighting type Pokemon deal plus 10 damage. Looking at the wheel, it's a 4 miss, which will be no miss at level 5. 36 wheel slice of Psychic Blade for 90. Deals 2 times damage if the battle opponent is a Fighting type Pokemon. So if you're going against a Fighting type Pokemon, Blaziken, or either of the 2 new Ultra Beasts, you could potentially hit for 180 damage now. That's where we are in this game. 180. And that's not even crazy, because we have a Alolan Raichu, which can hit for 200 or 220. So we're quickly climbing up the scale of the damage available. And that 90 is going to become 100 off of 1 evolution Wow, wait, so hold on. My math, it's 90 plus 10, so it's going to be 200 that we're at now. Plus it's going to get plus 20. So are we looking at 240? Let's see, 90, 100. Yeah, are we looking at 240 damage on this Psychic Blade if you roll it twice? That's what it looks like. Again, I will have to find somebody who has this figure and test it out, because I'm going to say that you can go 240. That is it. This is absolutely insane. That if that is true, I believe this becomes the highest power damage figure in the game. And we've had Mega Blastoise, which could get up in the 210 range. So Mega Gallade is quite possibly, as of right now, until someone points out in the comments below, without the use of a X attack or a Desperate Times buff, without the use of a plate, can anybody hit harder than Mega Gallade? Off the top of my head, I don't think so. A 32 wheel slice of Night Slash, which hits for 110. You're going to add 10 to that for the evolution, so that's 120. So we're up to 140. If this Pokemon is not knocked out, you may switch this Pokemon with one of your Pokemon on the bench. I don't know why you would do that unless you knocked out their goalie, or unless you knocked out the only Pokemon between you and their goalie and you had a 3 EMP Pokemon on the bench that would be able to take the goal in the next turn. Otherwise, I think you're probably going to want to keep your Mega Gallade on the board. And then what's going to be it's 3-star Teleport, which will be 4-star after the evolution. This Pokemon moves 2 steps away. Very strong figure right there. And moving on, we do have Gallade. Gallade is the evolution off of Kirlia. You can choose Gardevoir or Gallade. I believe most people will go Gallade at this point. A Psychic fighting type with the ability of Psychic Sensor. Psychic type battle opponents have the in-battle effects of their abilities nullified, which means that Lunala is not going to get its halving of damage against this Pokemon. It's going to have an 8 wheel slice of Miss down to 4 at level 5. 32 wheel slice Psychic Blade of 70 deals ×2 damage if the battle opponent is fighting type Pokemon. So we're going to have 140 plus chain levels. 32 wheel slice of Night Slash for 110. If this Pokemon is not knocked out, you may switch this Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. Now I can actually see where that might be useful, more so than on the Mega version. And then a 3-star 24 wheel slice of Teleport, moving 2 steps away. Seems like a very strong figure. Definitely interested to see that one in battle. We have Beware. Beware, and the reason why I'm laughing is because I think of the movie 8 Mile with Bee Rabbit, and this is Beware. Alright, bad joke. A normal fighting type with the ability of Fluffy. The damage dealt to this Pokemon by its battle opponents, excluding Fire-type Pokemon, is cut in half. So this is kind of like a Lunala. And if we look at the wheel, 2 8-miss slices, so that's 16. A 40 wheel slice of Wave Arms for 60. The battle opponent is moved to the bench and gains weight. That's really good. If that's your alternate attack, that's okay. The 60 is pretty underwhelming, I will say, especially for an EX. But moving your opponent to the bench and giving him weight is pretty useful. And then you have a 40 wheel slice of Bear Hug for 50. The battle opponent spins. If it spins a blue attack, it's knocked out. So not a lot of damage, with the exception that your opponents are going to be cut in half. So this is actually going to be like a 100 and a 120, which by today's standards is a little bit underwhelming. But it definitely has nice abilities. You know, the send your opponent to the bench is very useful, or having them re-roll if they roll blue, they get knocked out. Don't imagine we'll see a whole lot of Beware, but it could prove with more and more blues coming out to be a very useful Pokemon. And we're getting to the point where you can have an anti-blue deck between Beware, Rowlet, Terrakion. You've got some maybe Dartrix? Maybe even Dartrix in there. You've got some good options. Moving on to Poliwrath. I know a lot of people have been waiting on Poliwrath, and Poliwrath is only a rare. It is not getting the EX treatment. Water fighting, it has the ability of Hypnotic Stare. Any Pokemon that battles this Pokemon will become confused. Your water type deck just got pretty annoying between Seismitoad poisoning everything and then Poliwrath now coming in and confusing just by doing battle. If we look at the wheel, 16 miss over 2 wheel sections, 36 wheel slice of dynamic punch for 100, and then double slap. Spin again if double slap is spun. It deals plus 20 damage, but that's only 60. And 60 is not going to knock out a whole lot. What you're really hoping for here is you're just going for cycling through your Mons and then confusing your opponent, which is actually going to be nice against, say, Lunala, where Lunala loses its ability once it has a status effect. This is also going to be a nice counter to Solgaleo, because Solgaleo's wheel, it'll be a nice, there's a lot. Confuse is actually a really good status. So while the figure itself is underwhelming, it's going to be nice in the fact that, like Seismitoad, which is pretty underwhelming, Seismitoad poisons everything. This is going to confuse everything. Hypno. I actually like Hypno from Pokemon Go. Let's check out what it has here. It's a psychic type with the ability of Spellbind. While this Pokemon is on the field, the sleep condition is not removed by the effects of other abilities. So Tapu Koko can no longer wake up your opponents. This is going to be good for my Malamar deck. And you can actually run a sleep deck with Hypno. 28 Wheel Slice of Psychic, which hits for 70. 28 Wheel Slice of Sleepwalk, which is a 2-star purple move. The battle opponent falls asleep. You may move one Pokemon that is asleep to a point within its MP range. The moved Pokemon gains weight. It's pretty funny. I don't know why it gains weight, because if it's asleep, it can't move anyways. And Coco can't wake it up. So I'm not sure why it gains weight. I'm interested to know what the thought was behind that. And then you have a 28 Wheel Slice of Confusion for 40 attack. If you are going to use this Pokemon, I would definitely say you're going to level up the 28 as much as possible. Kind of cool though. I like the concept. Now you have Stuffle. Stuffle is an uncommon 2 MP figure with the ability of Fluffy. The damage dealt to its Pokemon by this battle opponents, excluding fire type, is cut in half. Remember that, because that's the same ability that Beware has. 16 miss at level 1. A 56 Wheel Slice of Wave Arms, which does 40 damage. The battle opponent is moved to the bench and gain weights. That's the same. 24 Wheel Slice of Flail for 70. Now remember, your opponents are doing half their damage. This Pokemon is doing, as an uncommon, essentially 140 damage. At level 10, and it's not going to cost you a lot of resources to take Stuffle to level 10. What is that? 100 Carmonite and 38,000 ingots. And you can have a level 10 Stuffle, and that 24 is going to become 33. You know, a 1 in 3 chance of an uncommon rolling for essentially 140 is absolutely nuts. I don't know if this is going to be, I don't know if this one is better than its evolution, which is an EX, but I feel like the potential is there for this to be, at least in the UC Hall, the Silver Moon Hall, you're going to see Stuffles everywhere, and I don't know how you stop it other than giving it status effect so it loses that ability. And finally, for our new Pokemon, we have Makita, which is the pre-evolution to Hirayama. No abilities, pure fighting type, 12 miss, 56 wheel slice of impact charge, which does 50 damage. The battle opponent is moved to the bench and gains weight. And then a 28 wheel slice of fake out, which will trigger the evolution and switch places with your opponent. So there we go. There you are now up to speed on all of the new figures for Pokemon Duel version 5.0.8. I'm going to cut this video here. I did open boosters. I will drop another video for that. And then, as I promised in yesterday's video, which you can watch here, I have a lot of ingots, 1.265 million ingots that I will be spending. I've got a lot of rare metal in order to use that. And yeah, we're just gonna do a mass building, a mass fusion video as well. So stay tuned later today for those other videos. This is just a short but not too short video on everything that's included in the update, but I'm not going to make you wait real long for the next video so that you can catch all three parts of this. But that is going to do it for, we'll just call it for the version 5.0.8 volume 1 of 3. We're going to break this up into a trilogy. How about that? Stay tuned, and until next time.